What up? Hey, it's Matt from the Backfires. I'm going to be going through my live rig today. We just put out a new album, This Is Not an Exit, and we're on tour in Chicago at Subterranean, so I guess I'll start with my pedalboard. Alright, so pretty much going from right to left, then back up and over. You know, you got to have that tune, always on compressor, always on little, just a little bit of distortion. You know, pretty flat on my compression. I have my big muff, my little big muff. You know, I keep the sustain pretty low and the tone almost to a quarter, not really pushing it too hard. I have this OC3 that, you know, everyone always raves about the OC2, but I don't have like a couple $100 bucks to go buy a vintage one. So I have this OC3 and I turned the octave 1 all the way down, and I just really like the drive sound on it. So there's a couple moments in our set where, you know, there's just big open distortion bits. Whether you like, you know, you hit that first beat into the chorus, or you need like a little bit of feedback from the amp, and I'll put that on just for a split second. Yeah, big fan of the OC3 super octave. Probably will get an OC2 at some point. Just a little bit for my picks and my key for my bass case, just in case you drop it and you're, you know, fumbling around. You can always reach out and pick one up. I got this guy maybe a year and a half ago. I haven't been using it too much in our live set, but I really like this pedal. It's just a, you know, a fuzz from Vertex Effects. I got this because Nicholas O'Malley of the Arctic Monkeys uses it on like a lot of their third record. So, you know, that's the Arctic Monkeys for those watching home, don't know. And then I have my Sans amp that, you know, when we're playing live, I'll take a line out that just goes straight to the house, just in case, you know, some shenanigans go down. And I got some EQ going, just on my board in case, you know, the amp wasn't cutting it and I was switching heads or not. Yeah, it's pretty much it for the board. Not too much, not too little, just the right amount. I guess we can go over to the amp. Tried and true, SVT. The main enemy of the single flight of stairs to get up here, the Subterranean, but the boys helped me out with that. SVT, I did a little custom. My name's Matt, by the way, so I put my name where the Ampeg logo is. Just a little bit of custom. I don't usually mess with the EQ too hard on the SVT head itself, but I paired it with the 4x10 because no one needs the fridge. It's just too much. To be honest, it's like, you know, depends on how boomy the room is, but I'll cut some of the bass, keep the mid frequency, and then I like it in this first position on the frequency. I think 4 is also pretty good for me, but I like 1. And then I keep my treble, and then my board is actually pretty loud. The Sans amp is pushing it with the big muff too, so I'm not pushing the master too hard. Yeah, pretty even. None of these ultra high or low, so just keep it standard. Yeah, and there's also the out the back of the SVT, but, you know, some people prefer to mic the actual cab itself. I don't have a preference. It just depends on who's in front of house. And then I just got 2 basses here. I've come from a long line of Mexican P basses. This is a Fiesta Red. You know, this is my. I don't know how many P basses we have collectively throughout the band, but I think we probably have like 4. I'm going to be playing this Fender Jazz bass tonight, though. Had it for a really long time. Alex and I have been in the band since, you know, 2016, and I think that I've been borrowing that from him for probably the entire time, so it's pretty good. I like it a lot. You get your variety of sound. I'm definitely a Fender boy when it comes down to it, for basses at least. So, you know, wear it low and just, I play with a pick, so it's important to just, you know, play it. So, yeah, so as far as tuning goes, it's really standard, and then there's a couple songs, like Blindsided we do like a, you know, D sharp tuning on my low E string, and then we have a song called Figure It Out where I do drop D. And as far as pots go, I keep both of these guys up pretty much all the way, and then I'll rotate between like all the way front pickup, and then, you know, sometimes I'll do like a halfway sitch on the jazz bass. And then, you know, maybe the main reason why I like the P bass is because I just keep the tone up and the volume all the way up, and you just set it and forget it. And I use, you know, some of my pedals to, you know, create that dynamic range. Both of those basses use D'Addario strings. I think they have different gauges, to be honest. I think I went through this phase of snapping E strings on my P basses, and so there's a thicker gauge E string on this guy, if you notice, just because I feel like I'll play a lot. I'm in the, you know, Nikolai Fraiture school of just playing on the E string as much as possible. So, you know, keep some of my picks in here. I'm a big fan of the Tortex greens, the 88 millimeter. I like these a lot. This one's obviously seen better days, but, you know, I'm not too pressed on what pick I use. Something firmer rather than not. Our guitar player Harry will probably talk about these later, but these Jim Dunlop's XLs, gotta get the XLs because they're bigger and, you know, better for you. But I keep a couple of these around too in case he loses his. But yeah, it's my pick preference. I used to play with my fingers exclusively, but for the Backfires, I play all pick these days. So yeah, so like I said, we're on tour. We're touring all of North America, US and Canada. You know, you can check us out on Instagram or TikTok or whatever socials on, you know, the Backfires or the Backfires official on TikTok, or the backfires.com has all of our tour dates and all of our merch and stuff like that. We're touring our debut record, This Is Not an Exit. Really excited to be out on the road and for all you guys to hear these new songs. You know, if you can, go see it live because that's what it's all about. So, thank you for watching.